Everyone. This is Bill. Good morning to you. Shabbat Shalom. A good blessed seventh day of the week to you as we prepare to complete the second book of Torah, the second Sefer of the Great Revelation stream. We're about 40% through the great Torah study, the download of wisdom from heaven that we call the Torah. And so good morning to you. Welcome to this episode, to this special time as we also prepare to enter a new biblical year. Tomorrow is proposed, or expected to be, the first of Nisan or Aviv, and that is, of course, a very special time for us. It's not a new year like the world thinks of New Year's. It's not a time for resolutions. It's not a time for parties and drinks. It's a time to restart, to refresh. It's a time to kick into a new era, a new season of fruitfulness, of responsiveness to the greater Creator's call, and of pushing aside and breaking free of those things which hinder us in our ability to do the work and do the will of the Creator of the universe in such a time as this. We have been appointed to live upon the earth at such a time as this, in this decade, in this century, in this year, in this political and economic and spiritual climate that we're in the families and the households and the communities and ethnicities that we're part of. We have been called to be here for such a time as this. And our such a time as this requires us from periodically to refresh and renew and reawaken to why we are really here. And we're going to have what I call today is a day of realm travel and time travel. If you understand the Creator of the universe designed the world when he created the world in Genesis 1, as it's told to us or recorded to us in the Torah, he created two realms. He created the realm of Hashemayim, the heavens, as it's called in the English versions of our translations of the Bible. And the other realm he created was Haaretz, which is translated as the earth. And that's our realm. That's the realm we know pretty well. And we live today on the same Haaretz, the same world, the same realm. We live in the same physical, bodily structure of the earth, according to the same seasons and the same times that were present back at the time whenever it was first created. And there's also another realm, the Hashemayim realm that we talked about, is also here, but we can't see it. It's in the unseen realm, but it's parallel to us. It's counterbalancing the earthly realm, or perhaps the earthly realm is counterbalancing it. We are at synergy, working these two realms together. Well, that's a mystical kind of a concept, and I don't want to make you afraid by the word that I use, mystical. Mystery is not heresy. Mystery in Hebrew, at least, in Hebrew mindset, mystery is just those things that we do not quite understand because we do not see them with our physical eyes. And our minds are not capable of grasping all the essences and the details of what they are. So this is, in a sense, a mystery of the two realms and their correlation, the interaction between the Hashemayim realm, the heavens, and the earth. Now, we do know that Messiah has been teaching us and taught us even how to pray in certain ways that would reconnect those realms. He said, "May your kingdom come," talking to the Father, in the Hashemayim realm. "May your kingdom come, and may your will be done on earth," in Haaretz realm, as it is in the heavens. And there should be a point of connection between these seemingly disconnected and counterbalancing realms. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to do some time traveling. We're going to do some realm traveling today. Bear with me. Put on your coffee or put on your tea. Get ready for some time and some great adventure as we begin to conclude the second Sefer of the Torah, the second book of the Torah, Exodus, and we're going to prepare ourselves to enter the next book of the Torah, the next Sefer of Torah, which is going to be Vayikra, or in the English Bibles call it Leviticus. As we begin to make this transition, we're realm traveling. We're going to enter, and if we do not understand the past, we will never understand the next step. We will never understand the future. We will never understand the goal. So come along with me as we take a journey, as we walk in the light, and as we discover the secret wisdom encoded within Torah's timeless stories. If they are timeless, they transcend what we know as hours and minutes and years and decades and centuries and millennia. They are truths, they are wisdom from the heavens that transcends. Welcome to a very fascinating adventure, a very fascinating revelation, a very fascinating quest that we are on to learn the secret wisdom encoded within Torah's timeless stories. Parsha number 20, the last Parsha, number 23, I should say. The last Parsha of the book of Exodus is called Pekudei. Pekudei. It starts with a P sound, and then a K sound, and an U sound, and then a D sound, and an A sound. A sound. And so Pekudei. And it's a construct, a noun construct, which has a strange way of interpreting itself into putting itself into English. You can't really express it in English in a great way. It comes from a verb root in Hebrew, pakad. And pakad is a word that means to visit, to inspect, to muster troops, to gather a family together, but for a purpose of calling forth, inspiring, inspecting, having a dress review, even in accounting, and a bookkeeping, and an audit, as it were. All those things are included in Pekad, and they're all included in Pekudei. In other words, we're taking a sum of all the things. That's Pekudei. Taking a sum of all the things and analyzing and categorizing and making assessments based upon what we have seen. Now, that's why we travel realms, and that's why we time travel on the last Parsha of the book of Exodus. We look to the future, and we look to the far past, and we see that there is a timeless connection between them all, and to understand the present and to understand the future, we must understand, we must know, we must take account of an assessment of the past. So our theme, walking in the light, if we're going to walk in the light sometimes, the last parsha of each sefer, of each book of Torah, we need to time travel a little bit. So we're discovering the secret wisdom encoded in Torah's timeless stories. Parsha Pekudei, concluding parsha of the book of Shemot. As this sefer, this book, it ends, or becomes close to an end, as we do this week. Chapters 38 through 40, basically, and the 40th being the last chapter of Exodus. As these things come to a conclusion, we're going to do this time traveling, but we're going to do it biblically. We're going to try to understand and prepare for the future by carefully studying and learning from the past. Directly, most intimately and correctly, right now, we're talking about getting ready for the book of Vayikra, of Leviticus. Because if we don't understand what's going on and what God has done this far, up to getting us from this to this point, at chapters 38 through 40 of Exodus, we will not have a clue why we're studying the book of Leviticus. It will seem Greek to us. It will seem like some ceremonial law that's passed away, or could pass away, or will pass away at some stage. It will seem like something irrelevant to us unless we know how to time travel, unless we understand the past and understand how the past impacts the future. And we understand how the present is a bridge between the two. So, remember that the creator of the universe, when he designed the realms, the heavens and the earth, they were disconnected, and there was a divide between them, a rakia, between the heavens and the earth, the waters above and the waters below. But there have been times, have there not, in Torah, there will be times in the future, or will there not be, when the creator of the universe will bridge the divide between the two realms, between the heavens and the earth. That's, like I said, it's all about what Messiah is here to do, is to help us make that bridge between the heavens and the earth. So he will bridge the divide, and he himself, the Holy One, will walk on and make himself at home on the Eretz realm. Now, this is a mystical thought, because it seems inconsistent with our knowledge of reality, or our theology, or our physical knowledge of science. How could a spiritual being make himself at home in and walk upon and mingle with the people of the earth. It is a fantastic idea. And how has it happened before? Let's go to the past. Has it ever happened before? This is one of the things that we learn in the studies of Torah. To ask ourselves, if we're reading something in the present, where have we seen something like this before? So ask yourself, where have you seen the Creator bridging the divide between the realms and walking on and making himself at home on and mingling with the people of the earth? Well, I will recite to you, or I'll suggest to you, there are two examples that are very obvious. There may be others that we could talk about, but the two examples that are very obvious. And one of them is Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. Oh, if you read Genesis chapter 2, beginning with verse 8, and then chapter 3, beginning with verse 8 again, if you begin to read these things, you see that the Holy One actually bridged the divide between the two realms, the heavens and the earth. And he actually made himself at home on the earth, and he walked upon the earth, and among the peoples, mingled with the peoples, and there he was with Adam. And he came, and in 3:8 it says he came walking in what the King James Version calls the cool of the day, at the appointed time for the breath to take place. He came to the earth and in the Garden of Eden. And there was this oneness of the realms, where the realms were connected in the presence, and the metaphysical became, or the spiritual became physical, and the physical became spiritual. Yeah, that was all the time in the past. Where was the other time? I said there was two very clear times. The second time was in Genesis 18, Abraham's tent. Abraham had just been circumcised, and I won't go into the details of that and remind you. You can read it for yourself and remember what happened in Genesis 18. But what happened is there were 3 visitors that came to Abraham's tent. And one of those visitors, or maybe all 3 of them in one, we don't know how it worked. But what the clear thing is, the Holy One was there amongst them and walked. And he actually spent time with Abraham and with Sarah in Abraham's tent. They ate a meal. They mingled upon the earth. They did the things of the earth. The spiritual beings did the things of the earth and incorporated themselves with man. So we have these 2 past experiences. And if it's been true in the past, if it's going to be true again this week in Parsha Pekudei, as the Holy One bridges the divide and comes down, in part of our story in Pekudei, in chapter 40, is when the Holy One actually descends upon the tabernacle and says he will dwell among men, and he does dwell upon the earth in physical form in some way, although it seems impossible. And if he's done it before, and he's doing it again in the studies, in the Torah portion we're reading now, will he do it again in the future? Yes, of course, because to understand the future, you must understand the past, and you must understand how it's developed into the present. So, remember, think about Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. Think about what it was like to have the Holy One, the Creator of the universe, walking in harmony, walking in majesty among his own people upon the physical earth. Think about being with a fly on the wall, as it may be, in Abraham's tent, hearing the conversations of the Holy One and Abraham and the angels, and about how Sarah was involved in that process. Understand the laughter that came out of that conversation. If you understand the past, we can begin to look at and grasp the future. Now I want to take you, again, time traveling. So hop in our little spaceship, or our DeLorean, as the case may be. And let's go to Exodus 15, 17 through 18. We have something in chapter 15 about Exodus, this book we've been reading, that is called the Song of the Sea. Some people call it the Song of Moshe or the Song of Miriam, but it's really the Song of the Sea. It's what happened at the sea. It's the Hallelujah chorus at the very end of the song, as it reaches its crescendo. The voices all go prophetic. You stop talking about what's happened in the past and begin to talk about what's going to happen in the future. And the voices are beginning with verse 17 and going into 18. It says this: you will bring them in, being the people of the Holy One. You will bring them in, and you will plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, in the place, Hamakom, O Holy One, that you have made for your own dwelling. Oh, we see this is a future, a prophetic reference to the Holy One bringing people in and planting them in the mountain of his inheritance, in the place that he has made for his own dwelling. And it goes further in verse 19 of that chapter 15. In that last part of the song, it says, the Mikdash, the holy place of flowing holiness, O Holy One, that your hands have established. Remember that your hands, not talking to the Holy One, singing to the Holy One, that your hands have established and set in place. And it says then the Holy One will reign. Leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch, Leolam va'ed. It's the hallelujah chorus of the song of the sea. Ah, beloved, that's the future. There is a time when the Holy One will bring his people in somewhere and plant them in a place he calls the mountain of his inheritance, and a place that he has made for his own dwelling, the Mikdash that his hands have established. Let's go forward. Let's get in our DeLorean or our spaceship again, and let's go in the future. We'll go to the book of Hebrews in chapter 11, verse 8, talking about Abraham, talking about the past, and maybe talking about the future as well. And it says in the book of Hebrews, in Emunah, I think it says by faith in the King James Version, in Emunah, Abraham shemad. He resonated with and flowed in tune and frequency with and harmony with what he was called when he was called to go out to the place, the Makom, that he would receive as an inheritance. So now we have the same tie back to the Song of the Sea and the place of the inheritance and the place he would receive. And he went out, and Shema and he went out, and not knowing where he was going. And in Emunah, he dwelt in the land of promise as in a foreign country, dwelling in tents with Yitzhak and with Yaakov, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he was waiting, he was longing, he was preparing for the city that has elevated foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Now we go back to Song of Sea, that you will make with your own hands, whose builder and maker is God. We're time traveling. We're engaging and indulging in a mystery. We're engaging in learning the secrets of the future by reading the secrets of the past. So we go on from there. We next go to 2 Samuel chapter 7, concerning David. Go, Nathan, the Holy One told Nathan, go tell my servant David, the Holy One asks you, would you build a house for me to dwell in, a bite? Would you build a house for me to dwell in? For have I not dwelt in a house? I have not dwelt in a house, I should say, since the time that I brought Bnei Israel up from Egypt. Now, my son this week asked me about this verse, and he said, when? He said, since the time that I brought Bnei Israel up from Egypt. He said, before that, did the Holy One dwell in the house? And where did he dwell in the house? It's a good question, except for the fact that you have to go back to the Hebrew. And the word since is not in there. It's just something that was added by the King James and the later translators. For I have not dwelt in the house. There was time I brought Bnei Israel up from Egypt, even to this day. But I have always moved about in a tent within a tabernacle, a tent within a mishkan, ohel within a mishkan. And wherever I've gone, the Holy One speaking, wherever I have gone, moved with all Bnei Israel, have I ever spoken a word to anyone from the tribes of Israel, whom I commanded to shepherd my people Israel, saying, why have you not built me a house of cedar? We're seeing there's a mystery to this house. It's not the house, the place, the Mikdash, the Mishkan, the ohel within the Mishkan. These things are designed for the future sometime. It continues. The Holy One continues with this message to Nathan for David. He says, when your days are fulfilled, talking to David, when your days are fulfilled and you rest with your fathers, then I will set up your seed after you, who will come from your body, and I will establish his kingdom. And he will build a bait for my name, for my Shem. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. It goes on. No, listen. Continue to listen now. I will be his father, and he will be my son. I hope you're seeing something in these verses and in the connection of the past and the present and the future, and the stories hidden within the Torah's timeless narratives. and the prophets' timeless narratives. I will be his father, and he will be my son. He's talking about the seed that will come from David's body. And, of course, David would interpret it later to mean Shlomo. Shlomo would interpret it to mean Shlomo or Solomon. It says, if he commits iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men and with the blows of the sons of men. Oh, the sons of men will creation him. We're seeing this great story being unveiled before us, the story of grand redemption and the plan, the greater plan of the creator of the universe from the beginning, being revealed from the past to the future. Now let's go into the next book of Torah we'll be reading, Leviticus 26. There will be a place toward the end of Leviticus in chapter 26 where the Holy One begins to speak to his people and say, if you walk in my statutes, if you walk in my statutes, the following things will happen. But if you choose not to walk in my statutes and you turn away from me and my ways, and you walk in the ways of the nations, these things will happen. Well, among the things that will happen if you walk in my statutes, if, as, when, and to the extent you walk in my statutes, behukotai, here's the conclusion of it all. I will maintain, the Holy One saying, if you do that, as you do that, to the extent you do that, I will maintain my mishkan, my tabernacle, among you, my place of permanent dwelling among you. And my soul, my nephesh, will not reject you or abhor you or cast you away in any wise. But I will walk with you and go before you. And I will be your Elohim, your sovereign of all sovereigns, your God of all gods. And you will be for me an Am, a nation, a people reflecting my glory. So that's where we're going next. Oh, and let's go to the distant future. Zechariah. Chapter 6, verse 12. Are you with me? We're getting in our DeLorean. We're going from place to place. We're finding these different ways how the past relates to the future, and the future incorporates the past. This is what Zechariah 6:12 and following. This is what the Holy One of Hosts says. I hope you're listening. Behold, look, open your eyes and look. Behold, the man whose name is Zemach, the branch, the sprout. From his place, he will branch out. From his makom, he will zama. He will move out. He will step out. He will bridge the gap. And he will build the Hekal, the temple of the Holy One. Okay, we're getting this whole idea of a place, of foundations, of him building, stepping out, bridging the gap. He will build the Hekal of the Holy One. He will build the temple of the Holy One. He will build the temple of the Holy One, yes. He will raise up hod, majesty, beauty, and splendor. These things will come from the heavenly realm into the earthly realm. He will raise up hod, and he will sit on his throne and give masal, wisdom of proverbial sayings and proverbs and parables of wisdom. And he will be a kahan, a kohen, he will be a priest upon a throne. How mysterious is that? Because the kings reign upon throne, and priests minister between the throne and the people. The king and the people. He will be a kahan upon his throne, and the council of shalom will be within them both. Both the priest before the throne, and the king upon the throne. And the king and the priest operating together in unity. Go back to what he told Solomon, or told to David. Your son, he will be I will be his father, and he will be my son. All right, I hope you're keeping yourself together with this time travel. Let's go again to the future. John 14:2, the upper room discourse. Some of the last words of Yeshua of Nazareth, the last words of the Messiah at his first appearance on the earth. And he tells his disciples gathered around him, fearful of what's about to happen. He says, in my Father's house. Oh, here we go. In my Father's house. Now, when you think Father's house, you need to think back to all the things we've been reading, all the time travel we've been doing. In my Father's house are Rav rooms and chambers. Many, great, numerous rooms and chambers. I think the King James Version calls them mansions. That's not a correct interpretation, but nevertheless. In my Father's house, there will be a Father. There is a Father's house. And in that house, there are Rav rooms, many, multiple, great and numerous, exalted rooms and chambers, exalted foundations. And if it were not so, I would have told you. But I go. I bridge the gap. I bridge the distance between the realms to prepare a place and a home for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again. I will come back down through the chambers, through the portal. I will come again and I will receive you to myself. I will bring you back to myself. And where I am, you will also be there. And where I go, you know, because you've read the other verses we've been looking at. You've time traveled before with me. You know where I go. And the way, Haderic, the pathway, the Pekudei, if you walk in my statutes. You know the way. I know the way. You know the way. Okay. Let's go one more time. Can we go a little bit further in the future to Revelation chapter 22? I believe it's 22. And then we have the message of the revelator, Yohanan. Then I, Yohanan, or John as he's called in the King James Version and later English versions. Then I, Yohanan, saw the holy city, Yerushalayim Hadash, the new Jerusalem, the renewed, refreshed Jerusalem, coming down out of the heavens, out of the Hashemayim realm, from God the Sovereign, prepared as a bride adorned for her Ish, her husband, her bridegroom. And I heard a loud voice from Hashemayim, heaven, saying, Behold, again, behold, the tabernacle of God, the Mishkan of God, is with men, and he will dwell with them until this new Jerusalem, this Jerusalem Hadash, this city with foundations, exalted foundations, this is where he will dwell with them, and they will be his people. God himself will be with them and will be their God. We are seeing as we come to the end of Sefer Shemot that this is all part of a greater story. This is not just a historical narrative to help you know more than your fellow man. This is a story to tell you what's going to happen in the future. Everything we read about in the Torah will be happening in the latter and the end of days. It is the purpose for which the whole of creation was made. It is the goal for which we're seeking to achieve. So here we are at episode number 11 now, returning to the present and our Torah study clock at the end of our year biblically and the end of our second Sefer of Torah. Episode 11 in the Great Nation Building Chronicles, preparation for the book of Vayikra, Leviticus, setting the stage for the book of Leviticus and telling us why the book of Leviticus and what context it's going to be relevant in. I call this particular parsha, preparing a place for and welcoming the presence of the King, inaugurating his reign upon the earth, preparing a place for and welcoming the presence of the King and inaugurating his reign upon the earth. Perhaps you didn't see it the first time you read Parsha Pekudei, but remember, we're time traveling, going from passage to passage and study to study. Oh, well, did I forget to mention the some assembly is required part? You know, if you buy something and you want to have it in your house, a piece of furniture, and you buy it and it comes in a box and it has some assembly required is written on the box because you're going to have to get your toolkit out and you're going to have to work and sweat till you put it together. Well, there's the box is prepared for you. The place is prepared for you, but you have to have some assembly participation involving it. So the great New Jerusalem will come down, but we will build the framework for it, the foundation for it. Well, this is the parsha of mustering the host, of a detailed auditing of the materials that we're going to provide, and careful inspection of the work to make sure it's ready to be a place for the residence and the walking among us of the King, his presence dwelling within us, and his kingdom, and his mashal, his wisdom coming forth from that throne on the earth. You see, for us, for the people of the Creator of the universe, a critical part of the Great Nation mission in this book of Torah, Sefer Shemot, is the Great Nation building book. A critical part of the Great Nation mission is to open and maintain an open state, a portal, and a bridge between the realms of Hashemayim and ha'aretz, or at least enough of it that allows for the Holy One to come and dwell among us and bridge the gap and be present in a way which is tangible and understandable by the world. A vessel, we can become a vessel of service to the Creator as realm guards and guides, as guardians of the realms. Pekudei. That's our parsha. And it begins with the idea that we're building this tabernacle. The Holy One told us in Exodus 25, as the Mishkan discourse unloaded, preparing us for what was about to take place, he said, have them make for me, build for me mikdash, a place of flowing holiness, that I may shakan, that I may dwell within them, among them. This is his promise in our Exodus 15, and 25 rather, and our Exodus 25, 8 and 9 is your address if you're looking for it. And this is what he's been trying to do. So everything that's happened since that time has been to prepare us to get ready to do what he just said. And this is always our mission in every generation. Have them prepare for me, build for me a mikdash, a place of flowing holiness that corresponds on earth to the heavenly holiness, the kedusha, the hod, the beauty, the majesty of heaven that allows a place for me to rest there. This is what our mission is upon the earth in every generation. You know, and so we're all supposed to build this tabernacle, build this mikdash, we call it, or tabernacle, we call it. We're supposed to build this place where the Holy One can bridge the gap and come into the world. And we're supposed to become that portal and help others become that portal, that opening, that realm travel bridge where we can have the Holy One come into our world and be like unto the Garden of Eden and like unto Abraham's tent in Genesis 20, in chapter 18. So that's our mission. And in every generation, we say, Abba, our Father in heaven, we have failed. We have not built the Mishkan. How long has it been? We had a Mishkan, we had the tabernacle for a few hundred years. And then it was destroyed, and there was a temple built by Solomon, and then that was destroyed. And then a temple was built by Zerubbabel, and it was destroyed. And then we had a temple, a monstrosity built by Herod, and it was destroyed. And since 70, Common Era, we have had no place on earth for you to bridge, to be the bridge between heaven and earth, to have your presence, manifest presence, come into the earth, and have you sit on your throne and give mashal to the world, give wisdom, give parables of instruction and teaching to the world. We've not had your hod upon the earth since 70, Common Era. So here we are, generations have come and generations have gone, and every generation we hear the call, we read it every year. Have them make for me a mikdash, a place of flowing holiness, that I may dwell in their midst, among them, with them, upon them, in them. And we say, we have failed in our generation. And he says, but you don't understand. I know the end from the beginning. And collectively, I will send the seed of David to build that temple, and you will cooperate with it, and you will inhabit it, and it will happen exactly as I have said. Stay the course, keep the faith, keep providing as much as you can for the foundations of this temple in your daily lives, in your daily conversations, in your interactions, in the marketplace, in the home, in the community. Keep bringing little tidbits, little fragments of the heavenlies into everything that you do, everywhere that you go, every place the sole of your foot will tread. Prepare for the way. Prepare the way. Even if it's just laying one brick in the road. Even if it's just clearing out one stone that upon which someone might stumble. Even if it's just one hosanna that is spoken for him to come and be a part of who we are and where we are. So that's what we're doing in Parsha Pekudei. We're preparing for something marvelous and wonderful, a return to Eden, return to Abraham's tent. So as we begin to prepare to close Sefer Shemot, the book of Exodus, I want to just recount some of the fundamental laws of spiritual science we've learned in this book. For every the first law of spiritual science, for every harmful word or action that man can release upon earth, under the influence of Ra, evil, Shakat, corruption, and Hamas, violence and cruelty. For every one of the harmful words and actions men can release on earth by virtue of those things, the Holy One provides a pathway that leads to healing and redemption. For every harmful word or action men can release, the Holy One provides a pathway that leads to redemption. If we understand this is the first law of spiritual science, of heaven coming to earth, then we understand that our job is to find the antidote, the heavenly antidote, and at least begin to have a vision for, introduce the pathway that leads to healing, restoration, and redemption. We're not here to judge evil or wrongdoing or misconduct or fret over evildoers. We are here to see beyond the evil and to see beyond the corruption and see beyond the violence and the cruelty and see a way to fix those things. At least one step in that direction. The second law of spiritual science. Every object the Holy One directs to be built and serviced in the earthly mikdash that he told us to build, that he wants us to build, corresponds to something of the Hashemayim realm that he is wanting to bring to earth. So it's not just building an Ark of the Covenant and saying, wow, that's powerful, that's the Ark of the Covenant. There's something about the Ark of the Covenant that corresponds to the throne room of heaven. And he wants to bring his throne room to the earth. And the Mishkans, Aron HaKodesh, the Holy Ark, is merely the earthly image, the foundation point, the bridge, the point of connection through which he wants us to bring the greater throne room. All the furnishings and all the priests and ministries of the tabernacle are not just things of the past, funny, interesting things to study. They are portraits, pictures of what's going to happen when Yerushalayim Kadash, the newest Jerusalem, when the great house, the great Heikel, is built and comes to earth, and the Holy One dwells in our midst. These are the contact points, these different furnishings, workstations of the tabernacle are the things that will explode out and come out in fullness from their heavenly levels whenever the king comes and establishes the temple. The third law of spiritual science is if you change a person's surroundings and the things he looks at and thinks about and talks about, if you time travel with him, if you place travel with him, if you change his surroundings, predictable changes will occur in the person's worldview and his mood and his demeanor and his behavior. If you want to fix a person, help a person overcome something, show them a better world. Show them a better view. Show them his kingdom coming and his will being done upon the earth. Show him what redemption would look like. Talk to him about it. Get his mind off of the trouble and on to the solution and on to the ultimate plan. Fourth law of spiritual science. From whom or to whom much is given, from them much will be required. You will not be asked to do anything you have not been equipped for. You will be equipped by virtue of that which you have been forgiven or given. And that will empower you to give that which is required. Now you say, how could I possibly be the one who sees beyond the problem, the trouble, and the evil, and sees the solution? You will be given it. It will be given to you by virtue of forgiveness and mercy and grace that you have received yourself. This is the secret of the Mishkan. Fundamental law number 5. He who has been forgiven much loves much. The corollary of that is, the contrast of that is, he who has refused to receive forgiveness cannot give forgiveness or love. Spiritual law of spiritual science number 6. Community, as the Holy One designed it, is beautiful. and it yields beautiful fruit. But it only does so if, as, when, and to the extent it is done the Holy One's way, according to his blueprint, his instructions, and his priestly model. Otherwise, it is just a fragment of earthly assumption and presumption. Seventh law of spiritual science. If you forgive, to the extent you forgive, you will be forgiven, even of failure of the golden calf, even of failure to build the Mishkan in your day, in your time. Forgive and you will be forgiven, and give and it will be given to you. So there is a continual flux going on. As we only can give what we receive, we must give back and give away what we get so we can receive more. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be given into our bosom. For with the same measure that we use, it will be measured back to us. Eighth law of spiritual science, we learned in the book of Exodus. If we build the Mishkan, or at least one fragment of it in our lives per his specifications, one furnishing, one point of contact of heaven and earth, if we build it per his specifications, he will come and he will inhabit it. He will fill it. He will bless it. He will empower it and inspire it. And he will manage it. And he will draw the peoples of the raging nations and those who imagine vain things to it. Ah, beloved, this is such a beautiful parsha, awakening us to things to happen in the future, possibilities that we have never perhaps even seen or understood. The Torah is a call from heaven. Will you be part of my plan? Now there is a great scene in us and Fiddler on the Roof that it's part of the scene of Tevye singing, "If I Were a Rich Man." And at the conclusion of it all, he's standing in the rafters of his barn singing to the Holy One, "If I were a rich man," and he says, "Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?" The first part of that is, would it spoil some vast eternal plan? Hey, did you know there was a vast eternal plan? Did you know we are designed to be part of the vast eternal plan? We are designed to play a role in the vast eternal plan? It's time for us then to stop. Take a deep breath. Do our call to worship, our Baraku, the blessing before reading from the Torah. Sing with me if you know it. Otherwise, just let the Hebrew sound and a heart and a cry of the Holy One come over you. Baruch Adonai Hamvorak. Baruch Adonai Hamvorak Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bakar Banu Mikol Ha'amin V'natan Lanu Et Toratu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Amen. And now open our eyes, O Holy One, that we may see wondrous things in your Torah. But we are but strangers in this earth. So please do not hide your commandments from us. Amen. Well, it's story time again. And the story time is about the building and the finalization and the assembly and the infilling of the Mishkan. It's a picture of the future. It's a picture from the past. It's a picture of what Abraham envisioned and what drove him and motivated him. It's a picture of what Adam knew, and Hava knew in the Garden of Eden. It's a picture of what Abraham understood for a few moments there on the plain whenever he had a visitation at his tent. It's a picture of the New Jerusalem coming to earth. It's a picture of the great nation coming forth. So here we go. Let's read a little bit before we go today. I'll read in Hebrew and give the best English translation I can come up with on the spur of the moment. Ele Pekudei HaMishkan. This is the account. This is the report. This is the details of the place of shekaning, of dwelling. Mishkan ha'edut. The shekaning place, the dwelling place, the abiding place of the testimony. Aser pakad al pi Moshe, that was prepared for it at the instructions of Moshe, according to the instructions of Moshe. Avodat ha'levi'im, and through the humble service of the Levi'im, the Levites. Biyad Itamar ben Aaron HaKohen, by the hand of Aaron, of Itamar, Aaron's son. Betzalel ben Uri, and Betzalel, the son of Uri, ben Hur Lamate Yehuda, the son of the tribe of Judah, Asher et Kol Asher Siva Adonai El Moshe, made, constructed, built all that the Holy One had instructed, Savad Moshe, Ve'ito Aholiav ben Ahasamiach Lamate Dan, and with him was Aholiav, the son of Ahisamach, the son tribe of Dan. Now this is a story of 5.5 months. Parsha Pekudei covers the 5.5 months in which we laid aside all of our differences. We laid aside all of our selfish wants and desires and needs. And at the foot of Mount Sinai, aided by the words, the burning of the words that were inscribed with the finger of the Holy One on the tablets that Moshe had carved out of the sapphire stones at the base of Sinai, out of all these, the power, the empowerment, we spent 5.5 months in Hinei Matov territory. Hinei Matov Umanaim Shevet Akim Gam Yakar. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. And this is our beginning. If we don't understand what's just happened and what we're doing in these 5.5 months of putting aside all of the things and focusing on building on earth this portal, this bridge between the heaven and the earth, to let His kingdom come and His will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and playing our role and our part in it as He plays His role and His part in it, then we'll understand. That'll help us understand what we're going to read about in the book of Leviticus, Vayikra. Vayikra will be all about what kind of life to live, how to maintain the integrity of this bridge, how to keep it open, how to learn the secrets of the passageways between the realms, and teach others the passageways between the realms as well. Beloved, it's time for me to leave you now. We have come to the conclusion, in our discussions at least, of the book of Exodus, the second book of the Torah. And so join with me now as we do what we do historically and traditionally, as we conclude each book. We say Hazak, Hazak, Benit Kazek. Hazak, Hazak, Benit Kazek. Be strengthened, my beloved friends and family. Be strengthened, and may we all be strengthened and made strong together. Shabbat Shalom. I'll see you next week, and we'll begin a new adventure in Sefer Vayikra, the book of Leviticus.